It's a very ambitious project, and we hope that the quality of life in these 4 villages will really improve by the time the project is completed.
This project has been a phenomenal success. I mean, any way you measure this, it's worked.
Under the Future Vision Plan, the Rotary Foundation is moving toward larger, sustainable grants that will impact greater numbers of people in all facets of their lives. This project is a model for this type of grant.
In 1995, I bought a piece of land about 40 kilometers north of Calcutta to develop as a vacation property for myself.
Krishna Dandania's land was located near the village of Joypur.
And while doing that job, I came to know that the women folk had to walk about 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers to fetch a pitcher full of drinking water. So that really astonished me. How could people survive in these conditions?
Dandania encouraged local women to take water from his construction site. And during the next few years, his Rotary Club helped them by drilling tube wells to provide clean water. Then, disaster struck.
In 1998, during the rainy season, 2 of the villages got flooded here, Joypur and Novapalli.
The Boido family lives in the village of Nabapali.
Many people in our area, they are take shelter in different places and they leave their house, and many families, they became hand to mouth.
This
area was uninhabitable. My family couldn't stay here. We had to move to higher ground.
And SOS was sent to me that if nothing was done, about 800 families will die of hunger.
Dandania provided emergency food for the villagers, an effort that was soon taken over by his Rotary Club.
In that way, we came close to the villagers because the villagers have not been able to forget that Rotary activity.
The flood relief spurred the Rotarians to bolder action. And in 2000, the club built a 2-story school in the village of Joypur.
We raised the money and we constructed the building in Joypur, where the school is now functional.
Still, the Rotarians wanted to do more.
So we thought we should focus on literacy as well as health, hunger, vocational development, microcredit, so that a comprehensive development can take place.
To achieve their goals, the club turned to the Rotary Foundation.
I proposed to my club, let us make an application for an integrated village development grant involving our 4 villages.
This happened to be the kind of large-scale project that the Rotary Foundation likes to see. It was cost-efficient, covered a wide variety of services, and was going to have an impact on large numbers of people. One of the requirements for such a project, however, is that the primary club must have an international partner.
Luckily, the Indian Rotarians did have an international partner, the Rotary Club of Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada. The clubs were collaborating on a Rotary Foundation matching grant project. Sandy McKay was past president of the club.
In 2001, I went to India, and one of the reasons that I went was to see the results of our project.
When McKay visited Kolkata in 2001, the Indian Rotarians saw an opportunity.
Sandy was in town and we brought him to our villages.
It took us 2 hours of very hard, fast, vicious driving to get there. We parked on the side of the road and we walked a mile from that point on a path that was about 1 person wide to get to the village. And I said, well, how many people live in this village? To my amazement, he said 22,000 people. Then they mentioned that there were 3 other villages that would be part of this project. 53,000 people. I was just staggered because after all, what they were doing was to provide the basis of a town about the size of Medicine Hat.
Together, the two clubs applied for a Rotary Foundation grant.
Including the $12,500 by Rotary Club of Medicine Hat, we contributed about $25,000.
The Rotary Foundation provided $300,000, and that was enough to do all of these phenomenal things.
For families such as the Boydos, the project helped every generation. It provided an education for grandson Soyantan. And it trained his mother, Rita, to be a teacher. Grandfather Upendranath Boydo could attend weekly healthcare clinics, which were held at the Rotary School in Joypur.
The patients were really benefited. And gradually the number of patients turning to the clinic started increasing. More and more are coming to attend the weekly regular clinics here.
And the Boydo's standard of living improved.
Through the Rotary Project's microcredit program, I borrowed 3,000 rupees and I bought a calf. The calf will grow into a milk cow, and that will help us financially.
Other villagers came to the school for adult literacy and vocational training classes. And the villages benefited from improved sanitation, the planting of fruit trees, and more tube wells that provided safe drinking water. One of the project's biggest ventures addressed a chronic problem in the Boydos village, Nabapali.
It was really inaccessible during the rainy season because there was no road to connect it with either the station or the highway.
We have given them a concrete road. It is more than 3,000 running foot long, connecting the village between the railway station and the main road.
We're happy to have a well-built road that children and families can use to go to school. And with scooters and rickshaws, we can transport goods to market.
The Paul Harris Memorial Road also prevented the flooding that endangered the villagers in 1998.
There was a fairly large canal, and the road now formed one bank of this canal to stop the water from flooding the village. It was possible, even during the monsoon season, to walk from one part of the village to another. Such simple things make such an enormous difference to people's lives.
By 2009, the Rotary Foundation's involvement was coming to an end.
We have been able to complete the project on sanitation, on water tube wells, and on vocational gardens. And we have planted 11,000 trees there.
The 3 projects that we'll have to continue for the next few years is microcredit, the clinic, as well as the schools. But gradually we'll try to make them self-sufficient so that the villagers can take over and run it.
The Rotary Club of Kolkata Metropolitan had continued its building program by constructing a freestanding health clinic next to the school at Joypur.
I was the president last year, and during my tenure, we opened this health clinic. The footfall every day is at least 50 in the clinic.
For its part, the Rotary Club of Medicine Hat funded the construction of a primary school at Nabapali, where Rita Boydo now has an indoor classroom.
I went back to our Indian village with my Canadian friends, and we saw this bright school. The school had many rooms in it, and past president of Rotary, Mr. Sabu, was there as well, and so he helped us dedicate this school. It was the first day, and they had every child there in uniform, and everybody was just delighted.
What we have learned is that by proper planning and by cumulative investment, we can bring up the quality of life, and that's exactly what we are doing.
With the road and a school, even I could get an education. And my daughter-in-law's job has helped us financially.
The project brought us prosperity, and I would like to see Rotary do the same for other underdeveloped villages.
Part of the genius of the Rotary movement is the Rotary Foundation. For a Rotarian, this is the natural place to spend your money.
Improving the quality of life through this project works out to about $2 per head per year. That's really nothing.
My experience, having done many different projects now, is to aim for bigger projects that are well structured, coordinated, and planned. The reason for saying that is that you get a lot more bang for your buck.
This project is a model for the new global grants in the Future Vision Plan. Rotary clubs around the world, as we introduce this new type of grant, can clearly learn a great deal from these two clubs.
The Rotarians around the world or in India or anywhere should not shy away from the magnitude of any project. The roads open up and you accomplish it in due course of time.